Otherwise, the Sheriff's Department is looking for volunteers, and we were talking about this earlier with Brad Perry, but such a great, amazing outreach. I know I have family members that have done this, Brad, and it really helps the community out quite a bit. Good morning to you.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it is called the Volunteer Service Department of our sheriff, and not just the sheriff, but the police in different areas. The big thing is we're talking about here is the search and rescue team, and Sergeant Parker, we were talking about this. These are volunteers from here, but they do go through a training, which is so important, so they know how to, of course, do the correct searching and rescuing people.
That's correct. The SAR volunteers go through a fairly extensive academy that starts in January, ends in May. In fact, we're getting ready to graduate about 22 on May the 6th. But they go through everything from radio usage, navigation, how to read a map. There's a very concentrated medical portion in there, crime scene preservation, because some of our searches actually turn into crime scenes, unfortunately. So every single person that you see here has gone through it's about 220 hours of a search and rescue academy.
Wow. But the other part that's kind of interesting, that like we're seeing the dogs right here, the beagles, these are all volunteers that bring out their animals and work with you to be a part of this.
Right. We have, when we have a dog and pony show, we really do have a dog and pony show. We bring it out. The canines, that's the canine, talk about training. The canine unit trains twice a week, and they have to log everything that they do, because sometimes they have to put them on. You have to put them on the stand. Yeah. So that's important. Right. And they're all volunteers, like we were talking about. Every single one of them.
And of course, you have the two right here, the couple here who volunteer together that do it, and everybody else throughout here, which is so amazing. And that's the great thing in these stories behind people coming to be a part of this and want to. And actually, I'm going to ask, why are you wanting to be a part of this as a volunteer?
Well, I'm a nurse in my real life, and I volunteer to give back so that others can live. And a good example was Chelsea King. Even though we didn't find her alive, unfortunately, it was just great to give back to her parents so that they could put her to rest and have a final closure for her.
Yeah, and that's what this team is so important about, and that's what the volunteers are needing, the services are needing. And again, we have the horses back here, which is kind of interesting. And what I was finding out that the search and rescue team is a little different than the ones over here, because they are the street. So search and rescue go out with their horses, and then you have the street off sheriff's department here, and they more work the parades and different stuff like that, right?
Right, and they do some patrolling around in the Ramona area and the Poway area as well. However, if we had a big search, an extensive search, then I can call upon them. I would probably end up pairing one of them with one of our search and rescue mounted, because everybody in the mounted unit, again, has to go through the academy.
And Dan was asking, we're going to come back and talk about it, because Dan asked about guns, and if some of these volunteers carry guns, and they do, but we're going to talk about how they do it and those who are allowed to, because a lot of, we said, are former military, or former police officers that maybe moved here to San Diego now who want to still be a part of the community and everything. And we're going to talk about the young kids being a part of this. 16 starts the Explorers up to 20. Pretty nice. And, of course, maybe there's some pastors out there or priests that looking to help with the chaplains. We'll talk about that too. But, again, always drawing me to the toys here. So O'Brien knows that, Sheriff O'Brien, here we go with this right here. And I will tell you, you guys, I make this truck look good, don't I?
You sure do.
Yeah, Brad, baby.
Boy.
Absolutely. If I could drive that truck.
Yeah, and that's another hashtag Brad
gas
Perry.
Mileage again? What's gas on it? Ballpark at gas?
5.6.
5.6 miles.
Oh,
we can do this.
okay.
David?
Totally. Worth it.
Me and you.
Yep.
Take
all
this
right.
ball game somewhere, hanging out.
I'm sure they'd let
Road
us borrow
trip.
it. Sure. Park that down at Petco. Anywhere we want. Okay, Brad.
That would be